What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Just a quick match preview of the upcoming game. Huge game at Ellen Road on Wednesday. Leeds United versus Chelsea under the lights at Ellen Road. Listen, it's going to be a big game. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And bottom three, no hiding from it. We are there. We need to move from there. And with that, it has to come at the. There has to be something there from the players from what we saw yesterday versus Arsenal. If you're watching this today, if you're watching it tomorrow, it has to be better than what we saw on Sunday versus Arsenal. That's for sure. Um, Hello to James. Hello to Paul. Um, and shout out to Colin Cohen. I think I missed your super chat on the stream on the match reaction, Colin. And yes, you definitely should take up ice hockey as your second sport. I highly recommend it. Just don't support the Coyotes or the Sabres, and you'll be okay. Um, Good evening, everyone, man. It was a tough one yesterday, not gonna lie. Um, didn't even check the comments on the video until today. I just didn't want to think about the Arsenal game anymore. And it's not the manner. I think people forgetting that it was a 2-1 loss, but it was just the manner of the loss. The first 45 minutes were just atrocious and just not good enough. In terms of what we need at this stage of the season. It's all relative to the way you are in the season. And when I'm seeing Everton go to Leicester and get a win, when I see Burnley putting up fights game after game, and we come up with that, it's very upsetting. But just evening to everyone. Shout out to you, Cade. Appreciate the message, my man. Um, Joseph, Twitter is toxic today. I haven't been on, Joseph. I haven't checked it. I've gone away from the LUFC hashtag. I gotta be honest. It hasn't been pleasant most of the season. In all fairness, Joseph, it's been kind of back and forth. And then once Bielsa got sacked, it was all guns blazing on the old Twitter machine. So listen, this is in regards to Chelsea. So let's get into it. And I just want to note something as well about Burnley coming up. What I think, if people aren't Jack Wilson, you've just covered it. You know, Ben Mee's been out, but Tarkovsky's possibly out as well now. I think he's possibly out for the rest of the season. They've got some they've got some real problems there themselves with their tough fixtures anyway. You know, they've got Spurs chasing top four. So hopefully Tottenham beat Arsenal on Thursday, so they still got everything to play for. That's the best outcome for us. So everyone cheer for Tottenham versus Arsenal. Sorry to all my Arsenal friends, but that's just the way it's got to be right now. Um, they've got some injuries there and they've got tough fixtures. We also have tough fixtures and we also need to find a point from somewhere. Where, I don't know. I don't know, but let's see what we can do against Chelsea. And I just want to talk about Chelsea for a minute because they've been on a little bit of a slide. I mean, let's not discounting our form, but let's talk about Chelsea in terms of how they've been. They just they had a 2-0 advantage against Wolves recently, threw it away 2-2. They were woeful against Everton. We saw that. I think a lot of people were tuning into that game. We saw that. They just haven't been at their best. And for me, it's a really good time to play them. First of all, there's the FA Cup final this weekend. Now, I do have a feeling Mason Mount was rested against Wolves for a reason. I don't think he started for a reason. I think it's because he probably wants to start this game. Make of that what you will. Sorry, Mikey. Game is the game. I've got to cheer Spurs because if Spurs lose to you and they've got nothing to play for, God knows what that team's going to look like against Burnley. So I need them to beat you. I'm afraid. Sorry, Mikey. Um, but yeah, Chelsea and the FA Cup's going to probably be a big factor in their rotation. I would love to see players like Rudiger and all these kind of guys rested. I mean, they might throw on Lukaku, but I've got an answer for Lukaku. I think I've got an answer. Um, Lewis, can we beat Chelsea at their worst? You know what, Lewis? For me, it's not really about beating them. 3 points would be beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's about just getting that point and getting us out of this bottom three. Because the remaining games are tough for both teams, for both Burnley and Leeds. Don't get me wrong, but it's just mental at this time. Let's get out of that bottom three, and if we can get a point against Chelsea, I'd be happy. But there's going to be ways that we have to set up. I've got a couple of lineups in mind, but it's all about availability and who's going to be there. Is Cooper going to be back? My feeling is he's probably not going to be back for the Chelsea game. That's just my feeling. I don't know. Is Bamford going to be back? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go with my lineups without those two as of today. But we'll see what happens if Anthony, you've got my guy there. Yeah, we'll see what happens if they're both available. Tolkien, evening KG, hopefully get a win Wednesday. Don't think we can afford to lose any more games. Burnley are good at getting out. Yeah. Yeah, this Cody drama thing. I know Lewis is joking here, but there's been so many questions. He's got a loan contract. Is it June, end of June, or the 22nd or something, May? Regardless, I don't. He can't play. Like that's a loan deal done. Like, I think he's probably going on his holiday soon, so he's not even an option. Jack Wilson, yeah, yeah. Mikey, I can't put that on screen, but that's what I'm hoping, Mikey. I'm hoping that we can do the job ourselves, but recently we're showing we just can't. But also with Chelsea, I mentioned the FA Cup final and the rotation there, and probably all the focus being on that. There's also rumours of a bust up between Tuchel and Marcus Alonso. How true it is, I don't know. Tuchel will probably come out tomorrow and deny it all, but from a few reputable Chelsea sources, that very much happened, which is why he got hooked off at half time in the last game against Wolves. So there's turmoil there. There's things to be had, and they're coming to Ellen Road. And you've got to believe the crowd are going to be in good spirits. It's going to be a nighttime game. We have to put everything into this one. The players have got to put everything. After what they give us yesterday against Arsenal, they owe us everything. They owe us everything and more after what they did against Arsenal yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, Lukaku's not happy. Yeah, he's not happy yet. Mike saying Chelsea need the 3 points themselves to make sure they guarantee the Champions League again. The cup is nowhere as important as it used to be. I hear that, but I think for Thomas Tuchel, Mike, silverware is very important for him with it whenever these new owners come in. So he can say he's got the Champions League, but he's also won an FA Cup this year in these kind of circumstances that they've been under this season. So I think it would do him the world of good to capture that FA Cup. And I think their crowd wants it as well. I speak to their fans. Their fans really want that FA Cup. So yeah. I mean, there's everyone's got stuff to play for out of these two. I guarantee it. But our desperation, we got to be as desperate as a single man in a bar at 2 a.m. We have to be that desperate. We have to be that desperate, and it's up to the players to show that desperation. Try and keep the ball in play. Never mind passing it to each other. Try and keep the ball in play for a start. Econ saying, I think the players know and Jesse will tell them we are owed a solid performance. If that is a point or three, we need something. Can they even finish less than top four? You know, I'm not sure if they can finish less than top four. I didn't check that, Econ. But yes, they do owe us. They owe us everything. They owe us absolutely everything. They absolutely, yeah, they owe us a performance, man. Rebecca G, funny how people want Drame back now, but slagged him off highly whenever he featured and left on loan. Well, yeah, telling you, it's game's a game, man. Football fans are fickle. We all know this. We all know this. And Jack Wilson, Lewis Bate with a point to prove against Chelsea. See, so with what's available right now, we're talking like I'm talking like Cooper and Bamford aren't going to be there, right? So if we was going with the regular thing where we act like we play with wingers, I would go Melier, Dan James at right wing back, as he would be the one pushing forward. Robin Koch, Charlie Creswell. There you go. He can wrestle with Lukaku, and I would actually go Pascal Strike at left back. And the reason why is because I don't think we need to be caught upfield. Even though we're at home, we're not that kind of team where we can go at Chelsea and try and outplay them, pass them out and everything else like that. They're still a much better team than us. Let's not get it twisted. So I would go with Pascal, and I recall Pascal doing very, very well at left back for us when he played there under Bielsa. And he did get forward when he needed to. I remember Pascal having a few good overlapping runs there. So I would actually put Pascal at left back. Again, it's square pegs in round holes, but that's what this team is, people. There's no getting around it. Wherever you put somebody, someone's going to be out of position. and I've already got Dan James there as well, which is why I've gone with Robin Koch as the. I mean, Robin Koch puts his body on the line anyway, but then you got Charlie Creswell, who would definitely just be your centre back. Who's probably not going to move from that position. I like that in there. And then I've got in the midfield Lewis Bate, Calvin Phillips. Put Bate in from the start. Let's not mess about with Mateus Click anymore, please. Let's please just be done with this. Lewis Bate and Calvin Phillips, as they can be the ones that can get the ball from midfield and play out. I would put in a return Rodrigo. Reason why I'd get him back Rodrigo from the start is because he's the one that can play more central. He can play. He's the one that is naturally more central out of all the attackers we've got. So I would get him back in there, even though he has been very, very indifferent. But listen, we're picking from what we have. We're picking from what we have. And then obviously Rafinha and Harrison out wide, who can try and come in, and Gelhardt up front. But then I also had another one I wanted to try. So let me know what you think as well. Let me know what you think in the comments in the video, what you think of the second one too. So I got Melier, James, Koch, Creswell, Strauch, all the same there. And then, but in midfield, I have a three of Bate, Phillips, and Shackleton. Reason why Shackleton? Because we need some energy in there. We need somebody who can get around the pitch. I know sometimes he's not the best on the ball, but at this point, we need a bit of energy in the team. You've seen the team lately. It's dead. The team are dead. Like, there's not really much going on. So why not go with the three of Shackleton? Just pad up the midfield a bit. And then up front, the front three would be Rafinha, Gelhardt, and Rodrigo. Reason why I would say Rodrigo there, because when I've seen him play, and I'm talking about when I used to see him play for Valencia, he come from the left-hand side. He'd come from a left-hand side. So when he was playing on the left, he would cut in. So yet again, Rodrigo, he can either stay out wide, which is not really going to happen, or he can drift in. But either way, I think that would give us more balance. So those are my two lineups. Make of those what you will. I'm happy to hear everyone else's in the comments too. Cloud Dizzle asking, KG, what's the status on the Rodrigo case? Yeah, he's gone, mate. He's gone. Yeah, we ain't accepting no more calls, I'm afraid. Nathan saying, great team. That it's the best of what I can think of. That's the thing, Nathan. I'm just trying to think of ways where we can be defensively sound, which is why I have to have Pascal back in there, along with Charlie Creswell, who's an absolute brute and will give Lukaku a hard time. I'm not sure who else is going to give him a hard time without running the line of being sent off, if you know what I mean. So that's where my thinking is with that anyway, and especially with the second lineup with Bates, Shackleton, and Phillips, just gives us more protection in midfield, and Shackleton can go and help out the right hand side too, as he did before. I'm just not convinced outright that Shackleton is good at right back. We've already seen that this season with him at right back. Didn't really work. But I think Jesse may go for that. I think Jesse will go for Shackleton at right back from the sounds of what he was saying before. And yeah, as Story says here, Click will play. Unfortunately, I believe that too. But these are just my preferred lineups. That's it, just for me. Devon, get back down to the championship. We're going to try and avoid that, Devon. Thanks. Bob's evening to you, man. Andy, good shout, KG. I like that lineup. Yeah, listen, I want to hear what you guys would do. I want to hear what you guys would do in the comments after the video. I'm interested to hear your lineups for this one, because the game is so huge. It's a huge game. Like we are literally we're on our knees right now. Pause. But we're on our knees. We're desperate now. So this is where you have to jig things up. You have to change things around and try and get a different tune out of the players. And that's what I think those two lineups, those potential lineups, more so the second one, would do, because it's not something that we've seen very often this season. T85, Dr. Cage's calming voice to the rescue. Man, it wasn't calming yesterday, T85. It was just full of frustration, man. And Bob saying, I want to see Bates start. Need someone to break the lines with his passing. Absolutely. That's what he was doing. On the rare chances we got the ball against Arsenal, he was doing that, as he would have done probably most of the season if he had given the chance. But yes, absolutely. To have Lewis Bate go back on the bench in place of Mateus Click is criminal at this point. It's absolutely criminal. So, and you look at the way Lewis Bate played as well. He played like he had nothing to lose. He played like he had nothing to lose. He was playing with freedom, and that's what we need. And that's what I think bringing back an energy guy like Shackleton will do. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm not saying they're going to light the world on fire, but we don't need them to. We just need them to be competent, where we're not conceding early, and that we can go on and break against Chelsea and nick something. Let's nick it. Let's nick it. Jody, do you think we have time to retrain the steamroller challenges out of James if he used to play at right back? I think he'll get sent off for at least booked in minutes. Yeah, I mean that's on him to channel it and calm down. But listen, Jody, whoever we play, whether it be Firpo at left back, which I'm not advocating for in this game, I'm not. There's risk in everything. Whether it's Llorente starting, there's risk there too. We've just got a lot of risk. I mean, we've seen it in the last couple of games, whether it be Dallas charging into Grealish, putting himself out for a year. We've seen it with Luke Ayling after that brainless tackle. There's not much sense going on in the defense right now, but it's on these guys now to just calm it down and do something against this Chelsea team that can be got at. Let's do it. Jack Wilson, Ayling is still sliding through Martinelli. Yeah. Paul saying, one worry about Burnley. If Spurs lose to Arsenal, their season is over. They will be on the beach by the time they play Burnley on Sunday. And that's the scary thing, isn't it? That's why sorry, I gotta say I want a Spurs win. But if we beat Chelsea, it might not even matter. So hey, let's try and beat Chelsea first. But it's hard. It's hard for me to think of a win, but there are ways of getting it. So let's see what happens, man. How did this happen, Cage? He doesn't feel real. Seems like a horrible nightmare. Absolutely, it does. I know. I know. Leeds 1-2 need to do as you say, Cage. You not just cannot see why we keep picking the same old, same old. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We need to shake it up. NS Sports, I think this is Nipan. You'll batter us. I don't Nipan, we're in no position to batter anybody. I know. Listen, you're not the only Chelsea fan I've heard talk like this. We are not battering anyone. We're really not. We are the exception to the rule. It wouldn't surprise me if you came to us tomorrow on Wednesday and beat us 3-0. But that's something I said on the previous stream, and something I want to make clear on the preview too, is that we can lose against Chelsea. There's no shame in that. They're third in the league, so they're a top 4 team. But if we to lose to them 2-3-0, the way that they've been playing over the past month and in the position we're in fighting to stay up in the Premier League, to stay in this league, then that for me is a disgrace. No matter how the performance is, it's a disgrace if we lose this game 2-3-0. Can't do that. I know we're talking Chelsea, but we're talking a very different version of Chelsea right now that is just disjointed and all over the place. For them to come to us and do anything like that, well, we deserve everything we'd be getting. So, yeah, that's what I want to make clear on that. There's just sometimes, if it was early in the season and we lost 3-0 to Chelsea, you say, yeah, fine, okay, cool. But at this point, no. Not with the way that they've been playing and not in the desperation settings that we're in. So, Jody's saying, I like the thinking on Creswell. It's a hard ask on a young fella, but Llorente is just as likely to make a mistake. Creswell can bang a header. Listen, Creswell, I know age is nothing, Jody. This is one thing that's held us back as well as fans. Not me, because I've been ready to throw some of these people in, but the fans thinking that some of these guys are too young to play. They're not too young. Charlie Creswell looks 25. Like, he's ready. And we can only really go by the West Ham game where he did a reasonable job on Antonio until the last minute, which wasn't his fault. But he's ready to play. Gelhardt, he's 20 now. He's ready to play. We've got to put these people in that they're ready to play. It's like I said, other youngsters at other clubs are doing the business for him. They're playing. Elise at Palace, he's playing. No one's talking about his age. They're just talking about his talent level and what he can do, and how now that Crystal Palace don't have to rely on Zaha anymore because they've got Elise returning Eze. It's all about your ability, and some of these youngsters that we've got have got more ability in their little fingers than some of our pros now. So it needs must, and I would put in a Creswell, as Mickey says here, no nonsense. Exactly, no nonsense. But he's not reckless. Even in under 23s, I never saw him overly reckless either. He's just a tough tackling centre back. So we need that, and we need that in there. Can't be giving up any more soft goals. So hopefully, and I say this on Melier, Melier would get my start. He just has to get rid of that out of his head. What happened at Arsenal and move on. And yeah, somebody else up there said Conor Gallagher. Exactly. There's young players here, bro. Yeah, had started well at Southampton. We just have to trust them. We just have to trust them, people. Yeah, Leeds 1-2 makes me wonder if Jesse is winding them up too much. I mean, this is something I said about Dallas because I said it on the Manchester City match review. I've never seen Dallas tackle so recklessly. Like he'd gone in a few times on Grealish before, and I was really surprised he hadn't been booked. And then the final one where he gets his unfortunate injury, it's like, what are you doing? Like that is not going to work against Jack Grealish, and Jack Grealish had passed him a couple times either way. So maybe it is instruction from Jesse to get into him a bit more, but there's ways of doing it. There's definitely ways of doing it, but that is not it. The way that Dallas did it against Grealish isn't it, and certainly the way Ayling did it against Martinelli is definitely not it. Certainly not. Jack Wilson with another thing for Chelsea in terms of revenge. Chelsea lost the League Cup finals to Liverpool and will be desperate to win the cup. They won't be focused on us. I hope not. I hope not. You know what? It would be nice for a team not to be focused on us, and we can get one of those nice, easy victories that other people seem to be getting now, where teams are just not doing all that much. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Ed, behave. We'll say you Dalla. No, thank you, man. Even if we to stay up, no, I think Dalla needs to go back into Europe. Ed, I don't think he's Premier League ready, man. I don't. Lewis, dark arts gone wrong. That's not dark arts. That's just stupidity, Lewis. That's not dark arts. Dark arts is a finely tuned craft, and you have to understand it. What Ayling was doing, I have no idea. So, Jack Wilson saying Llorente took his goal sweetly. Our new centre forward, good vibes. And yeah, I mean, listen, I've taken Llorente out of my starting lineups, and people would say, well, he scored a goal, but the goal. It's hard to say, but the goal didn't really mean anything to me because it was the overall performance just wasn't good. And I'm just thinking about the threats that Chelsea pose and what we need to do, and just thinking about the rashness of Llorente at times against Lukaku, who will be a handful. Havertz would be a handful if he's playing. Hopefully he's not playing. But yeah, we got to do something. We got to do something new. But yeah, listen, people. Give me people in the chat right now. Yeah, listen, if you're not subscribed, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video if you haven't already done that. And if you're watching a replay, do as the people in the chat will do now. And please drop in your score predictions for Leeds Chelsea on Wednesday. Let me hear what you've got. I'm interested to hear how people are feeling today, the day after Arsenal. So please give me your score predictions in the chat. Sporting Central Llorente to start up front. Hey, might be an option. Maybe Gilhart will come off after half an hour again. Bob's 89-1-1. Take that. Take that. Jack Wilson leads 1 Chelsea 0. Jack, I've got that one in my head. I do. It's like one of those smash and grabs or just an early goal, then we just hold on for dear life. I'd love that. Harvey saying, feel like Rafinha will turn up. Yeah, he's got to get his head clear as well. He's not the only one. Melier's not the only one that needs to forget Arsenal game. Rafinha's got to clear his head and just go again against Chelsea, most definitely. Paul Gray, 1-1. John, 2-1. Leeds. Ricky saying 3-1 Chelsea. God damn, I hope not. KO 1-1. Reverse swing. Oh, 3-2 Chelsea. Wild one. Oh, wow. 4-0 Chelsea, some people said. Sam S is not fooling himself or herself again. Sorry, he's not fooling yourself, I should say. 2-0 Chelsea. I hear you. See, Yash, you know what? Carefree Lewis keeps telling me this. Chelsea are charity FC, so they might help Leeds. We're not far behind. We are charity FC ourselves. You've seen it. Look at, I mean, did you not see the gifts we give Nketiah on the weekend? We literally give him 2 of the easiest goals he'll ever score in the Premier League. So we are not far behind. It's just that our league position is way worse. Jasbeer 2-1 Leeds. Mickey Leeds 1-0, Click Rabona 90 plus 7 minutes. Wow. I take it. I take it. MH is saying 2-1 Leeds, but like it's been all season, even if Chelsea are in a slump, Leeds are the ones who will take them out of it. Yeah, that's just who we are. That's just who we are. And Terry saying Ailing out could be a blessing, something different. He ain't been great. Yeah, I've been calling for him to be out. He's been woeful this season. Woeful. So I'm glad we won't see him again, in all honesty. Not gonna miss him. Jody saying you're the man, KG. Leeds 2, Chelsea 1. Love that. Could be better if we have the ball drop lucky in the first interactions. It's all ahead for them now. Come on, Leeds. Yeah. We have to start better. We definitely have to start better. Start with some urgency. That would be nice. I think the crowd will help on that. So yeah, listen, people. That's it. That's it for the preview. That's just a quick one. Like I say, smash a like on the video. Drop your score predictions in the video chat as well, in the comments. And yeah, I will see you after the Chelsea game, and hopefully we have something good to talk about, and hopefully we have moved from 18th place. Because looking at that, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like looking at it. I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. Every time I look at it, man, my shoulders just drop. Like it's painful. It's painful, but yeah. Listen. Oh, actually, no, that's not a bad question. Dan Horsfall, would you play a 50% fit Bamford, KG? I absolutely would. Yeah. I'm not sure about starting him. I would actually give Gilhart the start if he's only 50%. If you're talking purely 50%, I would keep him off until he gets subbed on. That's what I would do if he's only 50%. If you're talking 50, then yeah, I wouldn't start him in that way, because we've already had many instances this season where we've had early subs and just killed all our subs off before the 60th minute. And I'm being generous with 60 minutes. So yeah, but I would start with Gilhart in this game. I really would. But yeah, listen, people, I'm out, and I'll see you on the match reaction video Wednesday night. Peace out.